Hi, this is Amy at Amy Common Sense Southern. I hope you're having a great day today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I upload 2 to 3 times a week. Today, I'm talking to you because a few weeks ago, I made a video about why people give up on a weight loss journey. And one of the things I said in that video was that people make too many changes at one time and it's difficult and they feel overwhelmed and they give up. There was so much interest in that particular video that I decided to take that one piece about people making too many changes at once and giving up and turn that into a series. So this is going to be an 8-part series on changes you might need to make in order to lose weight or how to lose weight. My journey is different than anyone else's, and maybe there's something you can identify with in my journey. I don't know. I just want to help you with what I learned. So I'm not saying that you need to do these 8 things to lose weight. What works for me might not work for you. Everyone's a little bit different. But when I was really in the biggest part of my weight loss journey, and I say that because maintenance is a big part of your weight loss journey as well, I feel like really in some ways the hardest part begins when you maintain, because you don't want to backslide and let so many people down who have cheered you on. But when I was in that portion of my weight loss journey where people were cheering me on, a lot of people would stop me and say, "Hey, what are you doing? Whatever you're doing is working. What are you doing?" And they wanted me to share. And so that's what I'm doing right now, is sharing that with you. So some of the things that I did may or may not work for you, but I just want to share what I did and maybe it helps you. So today, if you're interested in learning about 8 things that I did on my weight loss journey that made me successful and how I lost weight, stay with me. Part 1 of my 8-part series on how to lose weight, and this is just sharing what I did, not what anyone else needs to do, but just sharing my experience, is acknowledge your obstacles and overcome them. For example, one of the biggest obstacles I had was thinking that this was my burden and my burden alone, and that no one around me needed to be affected by it. And whereas it is true that you need to take responsibility for what you do and your actions, there's nothing wrong with expecting the people that are around you on a daily basis to know what you're doing and be supported. So just to give you an example, I'm married, I have a husband, and I don't really ever want to burden him or bother him with little things that are going on with me that I can easily solve myself. And at first I thought that my weight loss journey would be like that, just one of those little things that I need to solve myself. But I realized pretty quickly that it was going to be difficult to leave him in the dark. First of all, I don't want to leave him out of anything going on with my life. I don't want to leave him in the dark. And again, like I said, I realized this was going to be one of those things that I had to include him in because he's my partner in life, right? So why not be a partner in this as well? But I think I saw this weight loss journey as something that was my problem, something I needed to deal with. And when I let him in on what I was doing, I found more understanding, more acceptance than I would have ever have thought. And really, that's not to say anything about him, that's to say something about me, because I should have known better. I do 99% of the cooking in the house. And when I'm going to fix dinner, I'm cooking for both of us. And I have a busy job and I don't want to cook 2 different dinners. And he would have noticed that right away anyway. But I realized that if I kept doing things the way I was doing them, I was just going to cook the same things and eat less of it and be hungry. So I needed to get him on board. So I started cooking things in a slightly different way. For example, maybe a little less pasta, maybe hot dogs and hamburgers and things that involved a lot of lower quality breads came out of the rotation, and he noticed that. And when I shared with him exactly what I was doing and why I was doing it, he was very supportive. But the interesting thing was, since I cook his breakfast, I pack his lunch, I cook his dinner, and I know that sounds very traditional, don't judge me please, but that's just what works for us in our relationship. And given the fact that I'm a pretty good cook and he isn't, or isn't interested in being, the interesting thing was that as I'm cooking differently, he started to notice a little bit of weight loss on his own. He noticed my weight loss and was very supportive of it and wanted to know what I was doing. So then when I got him on board with the whole program, and so that it was something that was part of goal setting for himself as well, because not only was this something that we were doing for me, it was something we were doing for the both of us, and that really did move us to another level in terms of my weight loss and his. I think I had a lot more weight to lose than he did, but the fact that he lost some weight and felt better, that just spurred us both on to continue. So even if you are single, let the people who are around you know what you're up to, because if you just let the people who are around you on a daily basis know what you're doing and what your goals are, you will find more support than you ever thought imaginable. So know what your obstacles are and learn to overcome them. So one of my big obstacles was making sure that the people around me knew what I was doing. And it started at home with my husband, but then it also spread to the folks that I work with and was with on a daily basis. Another thing along the lines of knowing what your obstacles are has to do with the actual preferences that I have towards food. So I know that with my lunch, I want something, usually I want lunch to have something hot, and I usually want my lunch to have something crispy like chips. So if you find ways to make sure that your lunch has something you want and satisfies a craving for you. So in other words, what I'm getting at here is, don't think that all of a sudden your lunch is going to be yogurt with fruit and salad if there's nothing about that really appeals to you. So I know that I want corn chips and tortilla chips and sometimes soup in my lunch and something hot. Find ways to work in what you really love. Know what those obstacles are that you have. Also along those lines, when it comes to exercise, at some point you're going to want to start moving. Now, I said in my previous video about why people give up on a weight loss journey that people make too many changes all at once. If exercising from day one is something that you think is just going to overwhelm you, you want to see a little bit of weight loss through diet first, that's okay. If you want to exercise from day one, that's great too. But when it comes to the exercise that you choose to do, don't think you're going to do a certain exercise because it's what you're supposed to do, even if you hate it, because you won't stick with it. So for example, running. I thought it would be great to be a runner. Everyone I knew who was a runner was in great shape. So I thought I'll be a runner. Here's the news flashes. I really don't like running that much. It's not my thing. Part of it is because that's really hard on my feet, and it's hard for me to do that. I just really don't like running. There are several reasons for that. I don't really like the way it makes me feel when I'm doing that exercise. I just really don't like it. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. So find some kind of exercise that works for you. For me, that turned out to be yoga. I absolutely love yoga. I had a friend of mine who asked me to go with her to a yoga class, and I did. And I thought, okay, so it's not running. That's great. Nobody runs in yoga, right? So we're just going to be on the floor doing some stuff on a mat. It can't be that hard. You're just stretching. Yoga is hard work. Yoga is not a joke. If you do a yoga exercise routine with an instructor, it can push you to your limits. It did me. There's so many different kinds of yoga you can do also. Some of it is just some really pleasant stretching. Some of it really works your muscles. And first time I went to a yoga class, I came home, thought, hey, this is no big deal. I woke up the next morning and texted my friend who took me to the yoga class and texted her, I'm gonna die, because I had muscles in my body that I didn't even know I had forgotten that I had that were in agony. But I really, really love yoga. I enjoyed it while I was doing it. Just about any exercise you do, once you're done and you cool down, you think, man, I feel great because I just did that exercise. But if you don't enjoy it, it's going to be harder to get you to come to that place where you're going to say, I'm going to do this exercise. So find something that you love and do it. Let's say that you hate Pilates or you hate running, but you think that's what you're supposed to do for exercise. You won't do the exercise, and it will be an obstacle in your weight loss journey. If there are certain foods that you know you love and you want to try to incorporate those. Try to find some way that you can incorporate those so that you'll be satisfied. If there is a person or a circumstance in your life that you are not sure they're going to be supportive, or of not having the support of someone in your life or people in your life is going to get in your way, make sure you get those folks on board. Tell them what you're doing. Anything you do that takes time for yourself is going to take time away from something or someone else. So make sure that everyone involved is on board. And guess what? If no one's on board, do it anyway. So if that's the obstacle, that the people in your life aren't on board, do it anyway, because you've got to do this for you. Until next time, this is Amy at Amy Common Sense Southern. That was part 1 of an 8-part series of how I lost weight, changes that I made to lose weight, different things I did to lose weight. If you're interested in seeing more of this, give me a thumbs up, click subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.